Hi guys. This semester my learning took a really different toll than I thought it would. Not just because of coronavirus. There's a lot of reasons, but the biggest one was because of my intent for this class. Like at the very beginning when John said that we were gonna be taking this class into our own learning, I was like, okay, cool. So I started doing a bunch of like getting the coursework done, as you would in most other classes. But, I was still taking things to heart, but it wasn't really learning for myself at that point still. So, I actually, it wasn't until about 3 weeks after, it was like 3 weeks ago. So it was after we switched to online. But it wasn't until then that I really learned how to learn, if that makes sense. So, it actually started partially from the refugee project. So my group was on childcare and I kept on finding information about trafficking. And so I was like, that's interesting. Why does this keep popping up? And so I ended up using a lot of it for the refugee project. But then when John came for our master projects and said that we were just gonna pick our own topics, I was like, okay, human trafficking, I've already got some information on this. So I started looking up more information specifically on refugees, but I couldn't find a lot there because it's all just on the down low, under the radar kind of stuff. And so I was then like, well, where do I go from there? And I had once upon a time heard about OUR Rescue, Our Rescue, which is an organization based on helping kids mostly get out of human trafficking. They do help with some adults, but it's mostly for kids. And then also just bringing justice to traffickers. So I ended up just reading a whole bunch of their survivor stories, and just started getting a lot of information that way. And then I also started, I watched a video from Coco Berthman, who was in human trafficking. She was born into it, and so she was 10 years old when she kind of realized that what was going on wasn't right and wasn't normal for a kid her age. So she didn't get out of trafficking until she was 15. Now she's an amazing public speaker and goes around and just does a whole bunch of interviews with different people, and she's really cool if you want to go look her up. But I started getting really nervous about what I was saying was going to be too dark to share because it is a really depressing topic. And so I really decided to find a way to make it more hopeful. I was like, well, if I can just spread awareness, just spreading awareness, because that's a lot of what motivated me to look into it, was just the awareness of it. And so I was like, okay, I just need to spread awareness. And I was like, oh, this is kind of perfect because coronavirus, everyone's on their phone, so might as well just start doing some social media, sharing stuff. So I actually made a bunch of little questions on my story and posted it so that people could respond with I asked a bunch of basic questions who do you think are the traffickers? Who should you report trafficking to? What are signs of trafficking? And I got a lot of responses that were really interesting. And this is all internalizing, I'm taking in all this information a lot more than I would with any other assignment ever in school. And so I'm planning on taking this clear into the summer, and I'm really excited to see how actually this all pans out about spreading awareness. And if you're interested, you can go to ourrescue.org. They have trainings there to see how to recognize traffickers, trafficking, and a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, so it's been a good semester. I'm excited to continue learning and actually applying information from a class in the summer.